speaker in our lineup?
Our next speaker is Dr. Hamid Razak, who has dedicated his life to medical pursuits. It's only fitting that he'll be speaking on the pursuit of healing. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Let's all welcome Dr. Razak to the stage.
Thank you, thank you. So, if you think you are here to attend a talk on how to enter medicine and to be a physician or a surgeon, then I'm sorry to say that I'm going to disappoint you. The pursuit of healing goes much more than just being a physician or a surgeon or a doctor. But first, let's talk about what a pursuit is, because we all may have very different definitions of what a pursuit is. Now, all of us, in various moments in our lives, are in pursuit of different things. In pursuit of happiness, we've heard about it. Pursue your passion. Some of us want to pursue excellence in some of the things that we do, including our co-curricular activities. And some of us, like me, want to pursue healing. Healing people, one at a time. Or some of us want to do public policy and heal large groups of people at a time, be it socially, mentally, or physically. But the point of the matter is, a pursuit is a journey. It's a journey that continues, and it's a journey that evolves as we grow as a person, as we grow as an individual. And this process and this journey comes with challenges. This process comes with new learnings that we pick up along the way because of the way we face the challenges and the way we respond to some of these challenges. So let's keep that in mind as we think about, or as I speak about my pursuit of healing. Now, what is healing? It is such a vague word. Does it just mean getting better? Does it actually mean just the absence of disease if we speak about health and healing? No, it is much more than that. Health is not merely the absence of disease or the absence of something that is lacking in our physical, emotional, or social health. To be healed, to be healthy, has to be interpreted as the whole. How do the different aspects of our life blend with each other and bring out the essence of ourselves in the things that we do? It is not just emotional health, it is not just physical health, it is not just a social health, but how these aspects interact with each other in our day-to-day experiences. So, if I pursue healing from merely the perspective of restoring health to my patients, then I would have fallen short of, I would say, the standards of care for a physician, because we are not just merely treating organs, we are not merely treating diseases, but we are treating an individual at the end of the day. That knee that I do surgery on is not just a knee on its own. It belongs to a person. That person has a name. That person has a family. That person has hobbies. That person has a life. That person has a dream. And if I just look at the knee, then my life would be so simple. But it is not to be. So this is me. I'm Hamid. I'm an orthopedic surgeon for the last 15 years of my life, and I spent a large part of my life treating lots of people with multiple problems, mainly to do with their bone and their health issues, particularly to do with their knees, but each knee is different because it belongs to a different person. That person has different aspirations. And I'm still, I would say, in the pursuit of healing. As I go about my job, treating different patients, I'm still learning. I'm learning more about myself when I learn more about my patients. Patients are my best teachers. And if I treated each knee just as a knee, I would not have gone through this journey. And I'm telling you, I'm still evolving. Every day when I see new patients, I'm still learning more about the world. I'm learning more about my profession. And I'm still a student. And today, I'm so glad to be here, to be learning from the other speakers who have spoken, and even from you guys here, from the way that you interact and respond to each of the speakers. So now, with that definition in mind, I want to introduce to you the concept of the tree of healing. Many of us look at medicine as a science. It is very much a science, but without the arts, without the humanities, medicine would be dead. The application of the science is an art in itself. So if we take the analogy of a tree, to me, the roots of the tree truly represent the science of medicine. Yes, we need to know anatomy. I need to know where the heart is. I need to know where certain organs are. I need to know how the body functions. True. At the heart of medicine is the very science. However, without the art of practice, without us knowing how to communicate the sciences in our brain through the words that we speak, you cannot practice medicine. I cannot deceive my patients. Patients will not like to see me. So while the roots are science, the branches embody the art of medicine. This is the non-verbal communication that I exude with my patients. These are the words I choose. This is the body language that I practice when I want to show compassion to my patients. And without that branch, the science will never be able to transcend to do what it's supposed to do in terms of healing my patients. And the trunk itself is the connection between the roots and the branches, and that represents the core of the patient. Because the patient is the one that receives both the expression of your science and the expression of your arts. And that is what connects the scientific knowledge that you accrue through training and the arts that is often not taught. And I decided I will put together this deck of slides essentially showing things that were never taught to me during my journey as a medical student or my journey as a doctor. These are things that I gained through lived experiences of practicing, of observing the masters who have mastered the art of the practice of medicine. So this is me, right? In a period of great uncertainty. Let me share a story of mine from not too long ago. I spent a year and a half in London, learning from one of the experts of knee surgery for a year and a half. And in March 2020, you all know what happened? Just shout out. COVID, absolutely. So, I thought at the heat of it in January, when the supermarkets in downtown London were, empty, I thought, okay, time to come back to Singapore to relative safety. And I still remember I was never more pleased to hear a really sweet Filipino voice at the end of the call that I made to Singapore Airlines trying to book the last flight out of London to Singapore. I waited 2.5 hours on the line. When you call and sometimes you have this really nice music that they put you on, that music had actually stopped. That's how long I waited on the phone. And it was just silent, and I just had hope that someone will finally answer. Someone answered. I booked a flight back home to Singapore. And little did I know that in that short 18 hours of journey, that COVID had actually broke out quite badly in Singapore. So when I thought I was coming back to safety, I was actually coming back to a really even worse situation in Singapore. And I was put on 2 weeks quarantine, and I was going back to my hospital then in Sengkang General Hospital, and I thought I would be resuming my role as a doctor, but no. On the way to the hospital, I got a phone call by my hospital's chairman and said, Hamid, we need you at the dormitories. COVID had just broke out in the dormitories, and we have 18,000 workers in the dormitory, and we need to screen them, and we need to lock down the dormitories today. So instead of turning to the hospital, I went straight to the dormitory. And I was given personal protective equipment like what you see on the screen. And I was designated as a COVID task force deputy lead to lead the operations in the dormitory to do essentially screening and isolation of the workers. And here I was basically taking blood from one of these workers that was there. And I saw him perspiring. And I saw that he was out of sorts. He didn't have COVID, he was COVID negative, but we were just doing serology to see if he had developed antibodies to COVID so that we could de-isolate him. And I asked him, I had hundreds of workers to go through, so it is not often that we socialize with the workers, we just wanted to get the work done, obviously. But I saw something was wrong with this guy, and I thought, what is wrong with you? I asked in his native language in Tamil. And he said, I am not worried about COVID, of getting COVID. I'm not worried about anything. What worries me is the fear of the unknown. I do not know what is happening to my family back home in India. My wife is pregnant. It's been 2 months since I spoke to her, and I do not know what is happening in India. You guys are so kind to us here. You're giving us medical treatment, you're looking after us, but it's not the same back home. People are dying, and I'm not sure whether my wife and my unborn child are alive at this moment in time. And that really struck me. For 2 months, I was just there, workman-like, taking blood, swabbing, not communicating with the workers, just doing the work, because that's what I was asked to do. And then it dawned upon me, what am I doing? What am I really doing? Then I realized that through the training that we get so absorbed in just the task that we are assigned to do, that we forget that behind this arm that I'm taking blood from is a person with fears, with emotions, with needs that are unmet. And if I do not explore these needs, no matter what medical treatment I do for him, he's not going to go home happy. He's not going to return home satisfied. And this is something that we have to contend with when we pursue healing. Often we think what we are doing in this form of medical treatment is healing the patient, but until we explore, we might be left founding. Another anecdote to share, a little bit more positive. This patient, Caitlin, allowed me to share this as she has published her reflections in the media. You can if you go in Google, kindness is not a crutch, it'll probably come up in the first few articles. Now she is actually the manager at the Singapore Kindness Movement, and she came to me with knee problems. We became really good friends. I treated her just like how I treated any other patient. She came with an arthritic problem in the knee, and I did some surgery to realign her knee, and she got better. But it only dawned upon me how much my surgery meant to her when I read her article, because it wasn't my surgical skills that impressed her, or the medical knowledge or the expertise that I had that impressed her. It was because I told her to go for the surgery because she can then do what she wanted to do with her sons. It wasn't the pain that was bothering her. The pain was here. She was upset because she couldn't go hiking with her sons. She couldn't go traveling with her sons. What she valued was time with her children. It wasn't the fact that her knee was painful. I could tell you if she didn't have sons to enjoy time with, she wouldn't have come for treatment for her knee problem, because it wasn't really the pain that was bothering her. But that really unlocked my mind to explore every patient's ideas, concerns, and expectations beyond just the realm of bodily pain. Privilege. All of us are privileged in one way or another. And privilege actually blinds us. Right? Privilege is actually quite invisible to those of us who have it. And I need to constantly remind myself of the privilege. To be here today, to be sharing this with you is a privilege in itself. And so I keep looking for those without privilege. How can I help them? And that brought me to projects, brought me to excursions beyond the traditional scope of my practice. And so I do serve in my own capacity segments of community who are underprivileged. And one of these are the migrant worker population in Singapore. They speak different languages, and often they are not understood because their native tongues are not spoken by a wide segment of our population, especially the medical fraternity. So me and my friends, we offer linguistic-based health support to our migrant workers. Every month, we travel to different dormitories, and we just set up camp, tables, chairs, basic medical equipment, and we just ask them to come and ask whatever they want to ask, and we help in whatever way we can. And this grows me, because their perspectives enrich me as to the very needs and wants and the deepest concerns that a broad segment of my patients don't often tell us unless we ask. So they are also my teachers. But often, the pursuit of healing takes a toll on one's emotion. And if you do not have an insight as to your own emotional scale, we can often run into trouble. Now, what is the difference between sympathy, empathy, and compassion? I often grapple with it. When I see a patient and I feel sorry for them, am I supposed to feel sympathy for my patient? Because my teachers tell me that all of us need to be empathetic, but what does it actually mean? Many often people tell me, oh, you need to put yourself in the shoes of that person. But I don't buy that. Touch wood, I don't have cancer. How can I put myself in the shoes of someone with cancer? I don't feel the pain of arthritis. How can I actually put myself in the shoes of someone suffering from pain daily? I can't do that. Now, to me, don't quote me on this, but personally, my own personal definition of empathy is to acknowledge that I cannot feel what you feel, and to make that known to my patients. So I tell every patient that I try to empathize with, I'm sorry, I do not know what you're going through, but I'm going to journey with you and try to get you better. And then I get buy-in. Because I've tried the other one. Oh, I know how you feel. And I just see the patients just nodding their head. So, doctor, you don't know how I feel. And it's true, I do not know how they feel. But we try to go one step further. Rather than just feeling with them, we try to walk with them by showing compassion. And that is beyond the realm of just treating them for the medical ailments that they come with. That is to know what they actually value and to give them the remedy so that they can get what they value out of the treatment that you propose for them. But too much compassion has a problem too. Yes, that is me. After a long day of surgery, just taking a wink along the corridors of the operating theatre, wondering what I had signed up for. Doesn't happen too often now, but in my training years, it happened more than a few times a month because of grueling shifts, 18, 20 hours of operating non-stop in the emergency theatre. But I want to go back to what the first two speakers mentioned, purpose and passion. Very often when we are down and we have fatigue and the brink of burnout, ask yourself, why did I even do it at the first place? And that will then bring us to the next phase of our pursuit with newfound meaning and purpose in what we are doing. So healers need to be healed too. You need to look after yourselves if you want to pursue healing. You need to look after your own psycho, emotional, social, and physical health. And that's something that I feel very strongly for and do for myself too. But I want to end my talk with this quote. We have talked about healing and the pursuit of healing for the last 10 to 12 minutes. But really, healing doesn't happen very frequently. In fact, to seek cure, it's very seldom, as what Osler said. To heal often, yes, but really what I strive to do is to always comfort my patients. I don't propose I have the solution for all their problems, but I tell them that through these 5-10 minutes with me, at the very least, I'll try to comfort you for what it is. Because not every problem has a ready-made solution, and as trained and as an expert as I am, I need to be humble enough to accept that I do not hold all the solutions to the problems my patients come with, but I strive to always comfort them. So you don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to be a physician or a surgeon to heal. Show kindness to those around you. Show compassion, and it starts from home. Every one of you is a healer. Thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to interacting with you again in the near future. Thank you.